Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Good Night, Everybody. I'm your host, as always, Christopher Lawrence, back with you again for the second week in a row, and hopefully many to come. And I'm annoyed, and I will start this now, and then I'll continue it when Sidekick Stephen joins me on the show. But which he can do now, Stephen. You're welcome to. By the way, tonight games, music, guests, giveaways, Triple G games, guests. No, music has an M. Games, guests. It's got to be a word. A music award starts with G. There is, but I can't
music.
think of it. No, it doesn't start with a G.
Music.
A G clef. Tonight, games, giveaways. We're giving away two spectacular things. I'm not going to tell you yet because you need to keep watching. It's an excellent giveaway. Over a $8 million cash value, depending on your exchange rate in your area. Could be.
Maybe.
Anyway, I'm annoyed, Stephen. Let me tell you why.
Because I'm eating pistachios and being very professional.
Well, I'm that always annoys me. But this is a new annoying. This is I've expressed this to you before too. No matter what, I feel like no matter what shade of blue I try, I cannot become invisible. I put on. Look, I've tried dark. This is a nice. I don't know what you'd call this. It's a brighter blue, right? I've tried, and you know this. I've tried all these different shades of blue, hoping I'm just going to be a floating head, because I have a blue screen behind me. And no, I'm still bodily visible. It's very frustrating. I want to be a floating head. You know, I did the Force Ghost thing that one time. That worked, but I can't be a floating head, like on Futurama. Well, they don't float; they're in jars.
No, they're in jars. Yeah.
I don't have my Force Ghost light. Next time I'll have my Force Ghost light. Anyway, Stephen, good to see you. Yeah, good to see you. And
we've got to get the link to the YouTube chat, to the YouTube, so I can post it on my Twitter account as well underneath.
What are you saying to me? Doing what?
We need the link so that people can go and watch it on the YouTube.
I have been putting out banger jokes on Twitter. And
really?
I'm shadow banned because crickets.
I'm
telling you. By the way, you do not follow the show's account, and you need to.
I do.
You do not?
I don't use the Catholic Comedy one as a now I gotta.
Who is that? What is that?
That is me on
don't show anything. Oh, this is like Inception.
Yeah, I know. I was just saying that I need to get the link for this so that I can put it on Twitter, because we want to get people to move from Twitter to
because soon, let's make an announcement. Soon we will be streaming exclusively on the YouTubes, so everyone needs to join us there. And today, if you want to be eligible for our grand giveaway, more details later, you must be subscribed on YouTube and you must comment. And believe me, you do want to be part of this giveaway because free. So this is it.
I think I may have spoiled it a little bit because I did put an ad.
But whatever. Whatever. It's fine. I did too, and so did the guy.
Yes, so did the guy. We got a thing.
But this is great. This is wonderful. And also we have to remember our other affiliates today. Not yet.
Not yet. Later.
First, we have a game. So here's the itinerary for the show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen and I are going to play a game. It's an important game. It's of incredible cultural significance, and as is our opinion on these things. Obviously, that's why you're here. Then we will have a guest interview, a wonderful guest. We will talk about. There's a Tolkien theme tonight. Oh, you like that? That's Gandalf.
Yeah.
Fool of a Took. I have my issues with those movies. Generally, they're good, but there's a lot of, if you're a purist, and we'll get into this later, maybe. We'll touch on it. And then after our guest, we will have the wonderful Tony Manfredonia with an original song tonight for us. Name to be determined, because I forgot to ask.
I believe the song is called Christopher Lawrence Is My Buddy.
That would be wonderful. That sounds like a good danceable song. I would like that.
It's a fun little Irish ditty that he put together. I don't want to give too much away.
Italian. He's Italian.
I know, but it's an Irish folk song.
Now you
about
and I,
you.
Stephen, you and I are the same. Well, let's. No, I don't want anybody to clip that and take that out of context. What I mean is, God forbid, we're the same. Apparently, ethnic makeup. Is that true?
I'm Italian, Irish, and German.
As am I. In what ratios are you?
50% Italian,
Okay,
25
so
Irish, 25 German.
Right. Well, obviously the other 2 percentages must equal out to 25 and 25. That's very interesting. So am I. So am I.
Yeah, my grandfather on both sides.
Remind you of anyone?
No.
What'd you say?
Sorry.
Your grandfather?
My grandfather on both sides.
Now, you told me your grandfather was a sea captain.
No, I wish. My grandfather
was
not
married to the sea. That's what you told me.
Oh, hey.
I'll tell you something funny. Hello.
I'm just going to showcase some of the comments.
Not time for comments yet. Hello, world.
Just showcase that guy. That guy's going to be super happy.
If he wins.
The
whole thing is rigged. It's not. So I'll tell you a funny story. My mother, rest in peace, my mother, for years, for the entirety of my life, swore to me, you're not going to believe this, that there was a little bust we had. It was like a wood-carved bust of a guy that looked like a sea captain. He had a little pipe. Little pipe, appropriate. He had a little pipe and, the wild kind of hair of a man that's been at sea, whose locks have been saturated with the briny spray of the depths, right? And a little sailor shirt and all that. And this was on the shelf in the house for my whole life. My mother, now this is the way my mother was. I could not tell you for certainty whether she believed this or she was trolling me for literally decades. But my mother, because she doesn't break, my mother would never break. My mother told me this was my great-great-grandfather. He was a sea captain, right? Okay, so far, fine. He was a sea captain. And in one instance, and you tell me if this story sounds familiar to you after I relay it. In one instance of his voyages, he and his crew came across mermaids, or the sirens, as we would describe them more accurately, but she would say mermaids. The mermaids, and that he had to be tied to the mast of his boat, and his men also, to prevent them from succumbing to the alluring tones of the siren song, diving overboard to their doom. Does that sound familiar?
A little bit.
It's the Odyssey.
It sounds Odysseus.
It's the Odyssey.
I know.
But my mother, so this is when I told my mother that, I'm telling you, this was my life. She said, well, they must have got it from your great-great-grandfather.
Your great-great-grandfather.
Really? Homer got it from... That doesn't make any sense.
Well, The Simpsons wasn't out until the 80s, so your great-great-grandfather would have been older than that.
Well, this is like when I was a little kid. There was no internet. I couldn't,
You couldn't look it up.
Decades. She was adamant that they had ripped off the life story. Whoever this guy was that wrote the Odyssey.
Yeah.
Ripped it off of my great-great-grandfather, who had really lived it.
And
would never, to her literal dying day, would not recant this story. Apparently, grandfather's a time. Yeah, he might as well have been. But I did learn something else. My mother was not as crazy as I thought in this instance, because our family, the Italian side of our family, comes from Sorrento. And what I have learned subsequently is the mythology of the mermaid apparently has its origins in folklore of Sorrento specifically. So, not that wild, turns out. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, but I mean,
and it all comes full circle.
We've talked to Aaron Erber or whatever. We talked to the guy who believes in fairies.
Just pronounce his name however you want. It's fine.
All right, he's not watching.
Just whatever, Stephen.
Whatever.
Yeah, Aaron Erber, Ivor. Who cares?
Whatever.
Who cares?
Point
he has no dignity, no human dignity. It's fine.
No, it's fine.
Oh, Stephen Garone says your name doesn't matter, Aaron. We're just gonna call you. I mean, whatever.
Yeah. Whatever. Anyway, we talked to him, and he would say that mermaids aren't a mythological creature, but are an actual creature.
He would say that. He did say that. I don't remember him.
He might say it. I don't know if he said that specifically.
He might say it. This is speculation.
He may believe in fairies. He might.
Why don't you ask me what I would say? You don't care what I would say.
No one does. I guess maybe the people who are watching this would care, but I'm not sure.
I don't think so. But I'm of the mindset of like any number of things. Like I don't believe in it, but if it was real, I'd be like, oh, it's fine. I'm not bothered. Okay. Like if someone showed me a mermaid tomorrow, and not the thing they used to have in like the sideshows. You know, in the old days they had sideshows of the sort of the fat man and the bearded lady, and the black person, and they had a mermaid, one of them, but it was like they glued half a cat to a fish or whatever, and it was modified. You couldn't tell. You've heard?
Yeah, one of those. Yeah, I mean, I got a couple. I have a farm.
Why am I talking about this? Why was I talking about this?
Because
Did you hear about the ninja swords?
I did, and I was just saying that like what's going to happen is it's all going to it's just so difficult because now all the legal ninjas are going to get in trouble, and because illegal ninjas don't care about laws.
Well, they imported all the ninjas in the first place. The government, rampant ninja migration, and now they're complaining they have a ninja sword problem. Well, what do you expect?
I think it's the hilarious thing is that they went with just saying ninja sword, like an 8-year-old.
I live in like a ninja enclave, by the way. I mean, there's loud bass all the time. I mean, it's like apparently when they're not doing martial arts, they really enjoy the hip hop.
I do,
but I have not seen a single sword.
Okay. Well,
so I don't understand what's going on over there. There's a different kind of ninja. There's all kinds. They're not all the same.
They're not.
That's racist. There's all kinds of ninjas, depending on their origins. Some from I don't know where. But all I know is what. So Leonardo would not be able to emigrate to England, but Michelangelo would.
Yeah.
Now, what do they consider Raphael's size? Is that a sword to them?
I think they're daggers. I think they're okay. But
so he would be okay.
I mean, generally.
Okay.
Generally. Okay. We should
play the game.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to go over and not a lot of time. So let's do the whole game thing.
All the time in the world. Time is our oyster. Is that it?
No. I'm gonna add this. I'm gonna add Tony to the stage for a second so we say hi to Tony and see if he has made up at random a song for our reboot casting call.
It could be called "Time is Our Oyster." Hey, welcome.
I don't, but when you said Chris Lawrence is my best friend, and I know we're talking about Tolkien today, the first thing that came to mind was the theme from Lord of the Rings. So like, Christopher Lawrence is my best friend, like the Riders of Rohan, but Christopher Lawrence. That was the only thing that came to. I'm sorry, I didn't have anything about your game.
No, that was wonderful.
That was good. Well, look, you just I'm a bad.
Anything you can make about me will get approved on the show.
Did you ever? I know you're talking about the swords, but did you hear about the? There was a very old video. It was going viral about people who thought they saw a leprechaun. Do you remember that? It was,
oh
was
yeah,
like 2006 maybe 2008. It was like one of the first videos on YouTube, and everyone was like, they were swear there was a leprechaun across the street. And anyway, maybe
that's a classic. I think it was in Georgia.
Yeah, it was.
And I remember if the one guy said, "If y'all seen the leprechaun, say hey," and then everybody was like,
"Yeah, it was good." And they were all everyone thought they all had their cameras back then. There wasn't even like iPhones.
Yeah,
wild.
Pointing at the tree where they thought the leprechaun was,
and they were like cops. They were cops there all along the street.
Well, it's a leprechaun.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
you never trust the Irish.
You can't trust the leprechauns. They're like ferrets. They like sneak and steal your cash.
They
from
steal.
Your purse.
Yeah, they steal a lot.
I'm 25% Irish, so I can say that.
Leprechauns are responsible for something like 80% of the crime, even though they're like a very small portion of the population.
I think it's 90% of gold-related crime is committed by leprechauns.
Yeah,
so
nearly 100%.
They're the mob. They're like the underground mob. That's where the mob gets the money, is from the leprechauns.
I wonder if that's where Danny DeVito. By the way, I saw a Mexican guy the other day who looked so much like Danny DeVito, and I said, "Oh, look, there's Danny Burrito."
So this game.
So this game. All right, I'll leave you to it. I have my other
Thanks,
original
Tony.
song that is not an Irish jig, by the way.
Okay.
It is not an Irish jig.
But if it
at all.
becomes one, that's fine.
If it becomes
Yeah,
one,
fine.
yeah, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So
That's good. All right, I'm gonna pull
Thanks, Tony.
something out.
We'll see you in a bit. So the game. Would you like me to explain the game, or do you want to explain the game?
I would love to explain the game, but I didn't come up with it. So you explain it. I'm gonna eat some more.
So what we're doing is, because in the news right now, big talk about this remake of Snow White, right? So this game, that's gonna be a T-shirt. This remake of Snow White is in the news. I don't know why people have a problem with it.
I do.
Really,
Go on.
It's fine.
Okay.
So it's in the news. Some people are upset. Some people are ecstatic. Something about Israel. I don't know. But I thought, why don't we do our own casting calls for the inevitable future Disney reboots and remakes? So we're making use here of a random celebrity generator. It will bring up for us 8 random celebrities at a time.
Mhm.
From that pool, Stephen and I will make our selections to cast these characters in the upcoming inevitable Disney-fied remakes and reboots of these intellectual properties. So here we go.
Like this.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Why don't you open some more tabs? Why don't you?
I wanted to put them side by side. There's so many ads.
Like a boomer.
I know. I don't want the ad. Stop seeing.
No, I am inevitably not going to know who some of these people are, and that's fine.
Okay.
I know who everyone here is. No, that's not true. Yes, I do.
Okay. So
No.
this is,
yes,
this is a random assortment of celebrities, and we have to reboot Back to the Future. So do you want to do like
Yes.
back and forth? One of us.
Yes.
One of us chooses.
So I will pick, and then you will pick.
Okay.
And then the next one you will go first, and then I'll go. So
Sure.
Stephen, you will copy and paste the picture of the celebrity I choose next to the original cast member underneath my name, and then do the same for you. So I'm gonna have to start with Marty. Oh, this is, well, I guess it's got to be Nick Carter, right? For Marty, just for the age.
Okay. I'll allow it.
Now he's something. What are you doing?
I was trying to copy and paste. We're just going to talk because apparently copying and pasting can be hard.
Oh, does it not work? Does it not work?
It works, but it wants me to sign in, and I'm not on the right.
No.
Crap.
Oh
It's okay.
man. Oh, we set up this beautiful thing too.
Give me. You talk about Nick Carter. Give me about 2 minutes.
I barely know who he is, but he had something to do with Disney, I think. So they probably would cast him as, he's one of those Carters. There's another one, right? There's Nick Carter, and I think there's Aaron Carter. I don't know who's which is which.
I think
one of them's an NSYNC, right?
I think that they're all like, I know I'm wrecking things. I think that they were all part of some kind of like teeny bop type deal.
Yeah, like Disney, Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, but I also think that
I know Britney Spears came from, is that her name? Yeah, Mickey Mouse Club, as did not Justin Bieber, Justin
Timberlake.
Who's the other guy? He's famous.
Timberlake.
Yeah, that's him. They came from Mickey Mouse Club. I remember when I was young, we had Disney Channel, and they had Mickey Mouse Club. And
yeah,
did a ghost just fly behind you?
That was my wife. She's
not a ghost.
Not a ghost.
Oh, there we go. Right. Yeah. So Nick Carter, there he goes. Marty McFly, just because he's already Disney and because of his age. Which I don't know how old he's now, but in that picture he looks young enough.
Okay. I'm gonna go with.
Oh, you're going. You're gonna take turns. Okay. So you're your Marty McFly choice.
I'm gonna go Stephen Hawking.
Now, should we have 2 sets of celebrities, or we're just gonna?
I think I mean we could randomly pull another 8 celebrities.
Is that possible? No. Oh no. I mean, is it possible to have 2 sets of 8 at the same time?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So this is now your 8 celebrities. If I go back, do I get the same celebrities?
I don't know. If we can, it's fine.
No.
We'll just do it this way.
No. Okay, so then I will
Very
choose
professional.
from my list of random celebrities.
Everyone has stopped watching. No.
I know, right? I'm
Is
going
that
to go
true?
James Earl Jones as.
Well, now you're going again. Oh, okay.
Because I had to pull my guy off. Okay, I'm
You
going
know
to
what?
say
Hold
as Doc Brown.
All right. I don't know who Rachel Zoe is. Oh no, it's Snooki. All right, let's. I'm gonna cast Snooki as Jennifer.
Oh no, sorry. This is your list. So go
Oh,
back
you
to you.
can have them both at the same time. Oh, great.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Doc Brown. Well, Keith Richards, of course.
Keith Richards. There we go. Keith Richards is Doc Brown. That I could see.
You travel through time.
1.21 gigawatts. Do you never
travel through time? I travel through time every night, don't I? I'm always traveling through time, mate. I wake up, it's morning. Next thing I know, it's the next morning.
Christopher Walken as Doc Brown would be great, but he's not on my list.
Yeah. Is that a prompt for a Walken impression?
I don't think we should do Walken impressions on this.
Everyone forgets when they do Walken that he also lives down here sometime. It's not just all about this. He gets menacing. What did you say about my chicken? He took the watch. He wore the watch. You know where? For 8 years.
I the other night, I don't know why, but that speech was stuck in my head while I was milking a cow. And I'm not doing go beyond that.
Hear about that? No, I don't. Look, you sure it was a cow?
Yeah.
Were you too far?
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say my Marty is gonna be George Clooney.
All right. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. I'm going with it.
Well, what's your thinking there?
I think that well, I know, and this is all kind of wacky because I don't have anyone under the age of like 30 on my list.
I can't even hardly see who you have. Cara Delevingne. I'm not sure who that is.
Vincent
D'Onofrio.
D'Onofrio. Vincent D'Onofrio had like a bit part on The Mentalist for like a season or two.
How dare you watch The Mentalist?
Well, my wife and I watched all of The Mentalist twice.
How dare you watch The Mentalist? I thought you were a Psych fan. How dare you watch The Mentalist?
First off, the Psych the people on Psych are fans of The Mentalist. Why would you make fun of that show? Why that show?
Who's fat? What?
Who's fat? What? No.
Make it a fat show.
No, that show. You
can't fat shame people, Steven.
It's from Psych.
I've never seen that guy in The Mentalist again. By the way.
Who lists their favorite show as The Mentalist? Why would you take a shot at that show? Why that show?
Oh,
I've never seen it.
Yeah, because it's like the boring version of Psych.
It's got its ups and downs.
It's the Squares version of Psych.
Agent Cho is pretty amazing. We got to get through this. I don't know if we're going to get through any more than this.
We're doing all these. Stop talking.
Yeah. Okay, go.
So Biff.
We have like 6 minutes.
So
Biff
listen,
is one of my favorite people, so we got to be careful here.
I think Ethan Hawke.
Okay.
Could slip into the he played the bully in those prep school movies. Didn't he?
All right.
Dead Poet Society had a little bit of an attitude in that. He could do it.
He could do it.
Had to put on some muscle. No one could replace any of these people. By the way, if they ever remake this, there will be riots.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Now you're Biff from your.
All right, my list of random celebrities. I'm gonna go Ryan Seacrest.
How do you not put D'Onofrio for Biff?
I don't know much about him except that he did a
He's Kingpin now on the thing that ruining Daredevil.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, fine.
I do whatever you want. I mean, I'm not the boss of you. I am, but
a little bit.
This.
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of stuck here because now I've got Ryan Seacrest as the dad.
Well, women can be men can be women, so that's not a problem.
I'm not doing that.
That's the law of the land now. And in fact, they should be sometimes. That's my turn?
Yeah, it's your turn.
For Lorraine?
You're looking. Yeah, Lorraine.
Lorraine Baines McFly. Oh, this is hard. I don't know who. Oh, I guess I know who Ashley Tisdale is. She's Disney too. Let's put Zoe. As much as I don't like
Zoe Deschanel.
Yeah.
You don't like Zoe Deschanel? Everyone loves Zoe Deschanel.
No, she's a huge B in real life.
I don't know. I don't know her in real life.
Well, I don't know her, but I have attended She and Him shows, and she's been a huge B to the whole crowd.
Really?
No, I'm making it up, Stephen. I'm lying. I'm better to do.
I don't know what you're. I don't know why you would lie about that. All right.
Why would I?
I don't know. It's the thing.
Well, I wouldn't.
I think for.
By the way, stay tuned through this debacle. We have an excellent giveaway. It's worth it.
I know.
I promise. The headache you're getting
I'm gonna do Courtney Cox.
Will be assuaged
for Lorraine
by the giveaway later.
I know.
Courtney, that's good. I like that. That's fine. I mean, I don't like any of this, but that's fine. If we were forced, if they're going to do it anyway, which they better not.
Right. But yeah, we don't have.
This is my turn. These are my people. No, these are still your people.
Oh, sorry. Let me switch back to your people.
Okay. All right. So for what's his name? I've never seen this movie.
That's the dad.
Yeah, that's his name.
I can't remember. It's
I've heard this is good though.
It is a good movie. Fly. It's not Marty.
Who's
the
Derek?
dad?
Who's Derek Hoff? Do you know? I have no idea. I legitimately have no idea who that is.
Neither do I.
Let's put him. He's good. Good. Put him there. Oh no, wait. No, put Timberlake. He's pretty funny on SNL. He might be able to do it.
You got Timberlake there. I just have Ryan Seacrest. I don't really have a choice anymore.
Well, I don't remember
Ryan
who else you
Seacrest. I got Ryan Seacrest. That's the guy.
Well, who else is on your choices though? I didn't even see.
We already got George. There are 4 guys.
Oh, you got Snooki. I'm so jealous. You could have Snooki play the dad.
Snooki's not playing the dad. I don't play that. George McFly.
You got to get on the progressive train, or you're going to get run over.
I will be run over, sir. I will be run over.
Society has spoken. Snooki can tinkle in the men's room. She can play dad. She can do anything she wants.
All right, who are you going to have play the girlfriend?
She's probably done all that.
Maybe.
It's my turn now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any ladies left. I guess I do.
You have lots of ladies left. You got mostly ladies.
I guess you got to put Ashley Tisdale. Miley Cyrus is terrible, so put Ashley Tisdale for Jennifer. I've never seen this.
Okay.
I've heard it's good. We know somebody who knows somebody who was in this.
Okay.
I should watch
it. And then I guess for me, it's going to be Snooki.
See? You complain about Snooki, and then
I chose her because she seems like she'd be the good for the bit part, you know.
As we scroll down to the next film,
I was thinking maybe we pause between here and the next film, and then we give away a play. Okay.
Well, first I'm going to talk about one of our affiliates.
Go on.
What? Stop interrupting me.
Okay, go on.
What?
Go.
What?
Talk about it.
I did not have coffee, and I'm not in the mood. People were in the kitchen. I couldn't get my coffee. I couldn't get my coffee. People were in the kitchen.
I got one of these cups. It says "Be Gone" State on it.
Okay.
It's the same.
Venerable, our first affiliate, Venerable Aubert Herbals. You can get one of those pictures ready too, though, if you want. Venerable Aubert Herbals, specializing in proprietary CBD oil. It's big with the kids. Get hopped up on the CBD oil. Venerable Aubert Herbals offers locally and traditionally made CBD oil and other herbal products to a market drowning in chemically engineered junk. And it sure is, isn't it? Most CBD oils are made by a variety of unsavory and unnatural means, like repeatedly bathing those beautiful buds in ethanol alcohol or using carbon dioxide. That stuff will kill you. and a series of pressurized pumps to suck the CBD. Well, no, it doesn't. That's inappropriate.
No.
Anyway, venerable all bear herbals, natural CBD oils, and beauty products. Check the affiliate link in the description to support our show. All right. Do you have a picture of one of the things for the giveaway ready? Don't show it. Do you have it ready?
I do.
Okay. Tonight on the show, we're giving away not one, not two, but yes, two beautiful hand-carved pipes from Catholic Pipe Company. Show the thing. This is the first one. Under the Hill series, The Wizard. There's a token theme tonight, which we told you. These are beautiful handmade pipes. I mean, really, I don't know why he's letting us give them away. Temporary insanity. But thank you. So this is from the Catholic Pipe Company.
I'm sorry.
Stephen has one, but don't let that deter you.
But that's not that series, but it's a high quality pipe.
Very high quality. Most people these days, they're just going down to the vape yard or whatever it is the store's called for their old bongs are us to get their pipe. But this is a beautiful handmade wooden tobacco pipes for upstanding citizens, and they're limited. You can't just go down to Bongs R Us and sweep 5 of these off the shelf into your cart.
No,
he's not going to make these forever. This takes time. Made in America, like Drumpf says, bring back America manufacturing. Well, American pipe manufacturing is coming back, baby. In fact, it's here. We're going to give away one of these. If you subscribe to our channel, this is coercion, and comment, you will be entered to win one of these two. We'll show you the second one later. One of these two absolutely exquisite pipes. And thank you to Catholic Pipe Company. Okay, back to the game.
So make a comment right now. Just say that you would like it. Just say, I want one as a comment. That we will be able to find the comments later for this particular one. So go ahead.
All right.
And we'll go back to the game for a bit, and then we'll bring in our guest.
Yeah.
All right. I got new people.
All right. Do you want to go first this time?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and do
this.
This
is
very
Star
obvious.
Wars.
I know.
A new
very obvious.
I'm telling you. I'm telling the people at home.
Okay.
Now, Stephen, explain to the people at home Star Wars.
It's about space monks who fight evil space monks.
Okay.
Now
explain to me about Star Wars.
If you don't know Star Wars, I can't help you. I'm going to do the very obvious. Sarah Jessica
This is
Parker
a
has Jabba
series
the
of films. The series of films.
Mhm.
This has pioneered the DEI movement, right? You got there's a white guy there. Well, that's okay. One white guy, it's fine. Then there's a black fellow. There's a furry. There's a big fat slob for the body positivity. There's a dwarf. Right? So this is great representation.
Great representation.
But what Disney's going to do is, because of the pendulum is swinging the other way, we have a litany of crackers on the other side of the screen here that we're being forced to cast, undoing all the progress, the DEI, the wonderful work done by whoever made this in the first place. Look at this.
Well,
this is my.
Yep.
These aren't all white people. There's the Braun.
Rush Limbaugh is pretty cool.
Stewart, who is of the tribe. So at least a little bit of representation, thank God.
Yes, buddy. It's your go.
Luke Skywalker. Let me see. I gotta go. Jason Bateman would be good.
Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
Okay. Jason Bateman as Luke Skywalker. All right. I'm gonna go with
Princess Leia.
Oh, I think I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna.
You got good ones.
Bale. I know. Not as Princess Leia.
Oh, see, you're getting on board. Oh, I thought you were finally getting on board.
No, I think Christian Bale is Han Solo. I think that's something you can make work.
You know, just when I think you're coming around.
Yeah,
Typical.
that happened.
Typical of the Irish. I think
You
he's
have
Irish.
so many men like as your choices.
Excuse me?
Look, like you got of the 8, you've got 5 of them or 6 of them are men.
Are these my people?
Mhm.
Okay, Princess Leia. I'm not sure who Leona Lewis. I think she's a singer. Or you know what? Leona Lewis looks to be of a color, right? So I'm going to put her on there. Give her the opportunity. How about that?
Okay. Good choice.
Yeah. Or she has a good. I don't. Yeah, good. She'll do
I'm
great.
gonna-
I know she will. I know she'll do great.
I'm gonna go Bruce Jenner.
You can't say that.
It says it right there.
No, you can't say that.
I can say whatever I'd like.
No, we're getting canceled. You can't say that. That's not a person that ever existed, ever. We talked about this last week. Remember, I was watching the little silly nerd show, and the guy was talking about Family Double there from the 80s, and he said, oh, hosted by, what's his name?
Yeah.
Crystal? What is it?
You know.
Caitlyn.
Yeah.
Caitlyn Jenner. And I said, right, that's right. Always been. Because apparently it has always been what it is now. It has never been what it was before. So it wasn't Bruce at any point. That was never a person. What it is now, it's always been that. And you have to call it that, or you get in trouble. So we get in trouble. I disavow Steven. Dead naming, they call it.
That's fine.
It wants to be known by Crystal.
It does not.
Yes, it does.
No,
Yeah,
Caitlyn.
yes, it does.
No, it's
It's
Caitlyn.
Crystal Jenner.
No.
That sounds like a drink mix. Speaking of drink mixes,
You're up.
talk about our other affiliate, Poggers. Poggers.shop. Poggers makes energy, hydration, and sleep drink mixes. They're all natural and they got stickers and stuff too. Back to the game. So let me see. So yes, try to remember that. It wants to be known. It wants to be known as Crystal. All right. Chewbacca. Rush Limbaugh.
Rush Limbaugh's
You thought I was going to put LeBron, but that's racist.
No, I did not. I did not think you would choose
That's
LeBron.
something you would do.
I thought I did with Rush Limbaugh.
Oh, you didn't do your lay yet. You didn't do your.
No, I've been doing them out of order because I can.
Oh, you didn't even. How did Sarah Jessica Parker become Jabba the Hutt?
That was at the beginning. You were yelling at me.
You're fat shaming Sarah Jessica Parker, and she's very thin.
No. She looks like
You're
a horse.
really batting 1,000 tonight, Steven.
I know.
I get letters from. We're gonna get letters from bongsaurus.com, from Crystal Jenner's representatives, from Sarah Jessica Parker, from the fat shaming, body positivity hippo people. And so,
I say
doing this.
I say Tom Hardy as Darth Vader.
When is my turn?
Now it's your turn.
Are these my people?
These are your people.
I don't know who Lucas Black is. Is he black? He doesn't look black.
Does not.
You know what that is? That's cultural appropriation. And you can't do that either.
Okay.
How has this happened tonight? This has completely gone off the rails. Our guest is left, I'm sure.
No, so we should probably wrap this up so we can have a guest.
Okay, so Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're going to put LeBron.
LeBron James.
Powerful man with a deep voice. I'm assuming he has a deep voice. I never heard him talk.
Neither have I.
Why would I listen to LeBron James talk?
All right, so we got LeBron James. All right, back over to me. I got 4 left.
Oh, I didn't cast the furry.
You did. That was
Oh, yes, I did. Rush Limbaugh. Yeah, that's right.
Rush Limbaugh. I've got mostly women left. So this
now,
is
when
gonna
you
be
go to the conventions, is Chewbacca an acceptable costume? Do you call them costumes? It's your furdenity, right? So when you do the people, is it always an original animal?
All right.
Or do people come as like?
We got people demanding the Tolkien show, and that's one of the people
supposed to be a Tolkien show. Come on, dudes, Tolkien. I was gonna do Lord of the Rings recasting, but it was too precious to me. Precious. See what I did there?
All right. Let's burn through these, and then so we can talk to Tolkien.
Well, which one of these people is closest to being a Webster? Selena Gomez, I guess. So I'll stick her on the little robot.
Oh, that's me. Oh, that's mine. These are mine.
Oh.
All right. I'm gonna put Selena Gomez as the robot.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do Angelina Jolie just to burn through it. I know it's a fun game, but we do have other people we're waiting. So Angelina Jolie will be Chewbacca. Then we'll have Kate Moss as Leia. And then
There's a bunch of white people, Steven.
I know. These are the cards I've been dealt. This is why I have to do
skinny blonde white people.
Skinny blonde Luke Skywalker.
Well, there you go. Okay. Well, they got
Lucia
the hair right.
Skywalker.
It's the same hair. It's the same hair.
Same hair. Okay. So now your last four for these last four. Who you choosing?
Christoph Waltz is going to be the shiny guy.
C-3PO. Mm-hmm. Good.
And maybe untraditionally, but I think Jon Stewart, perfectly handsome man, he could be Han Momo.
Solo? On Solo?
Huh? I'm sorry?
Go on.
I'm going to assume Lucas Black is short, so stick him in the little thing.
Okay.
And I guess you want to save the next two for another show. You want to wrap this up here?
Yeah, let's just wrap it up.
All right. Fine.
And then Juliana Ho would be.
Did you just call her a hoe?
Is that her name? Ho? H-O-G-H?
Well, I would say Huff. Huff.
Okay. All right. Let's
shut it down. Don't reveal the next ones because we'll save them for next time. Okay, we're gonna bring. I guess you want to bring on our guest. I guess.
Yes.
All right. We have an excellent guest tonight, keeping with our theme, which we've been running with the whole show, which is Tolkien. Obviously, Tolkien is our theme tonight. In case you didn't get that for some reason, but it's Daily Tolkien Wisdom. DTW. Thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure to be with you, fellas.
So you run a account on X, which I find great edification in daily, which is drawing wisdom not only directly from Tolkien but from related areas, or tying them all together, because I think you would agree that Tolkien comes from a long tradition of timeless wisdom, which is evident in his books. How did you first get into Tolkien himself? What was your first exposure to the professor?
I wish I could say I just picked up the books and started reading them, but it was the films that was kind of my gateway. So I was I gotta be honest with you. So I was in middle school when the Fellowship came out.
Okay.
And watched it, was blown away by it. Read The Hobbit and the trilogy, and then circled back and listened to the audiobooks. The Rob Inglis recordings are fantastic.
Oh, yeah, very good. Yeah.
Prior to the Two Towers coming out. So I was well versed by the time at least the second film came out.
Okay.
And I've been hooked ever since. And to your point, the continuity between Tolkien and, ancient philosophy, his Catholicism and other elements to him as both a writer and as just a human in general, just keeps me going back for more.
Yeah, he's drawing from, among many other things, the traditional folklore and mythology of Norse cultures, right? For the dwarves. What were the elves? Can you break down a little bit of that for us? Do you know what his inspirations were for each of the races? Are they a diversified mythology, or is he mainly drawing from Nordic mythology?
So Tolkien was first and foremost a linguist, and
Right.
You see that come out with every element of his work, any speeches, personal letters. He was first and foremost a tremendous philologist. As for the different races that he has in Middle Earth, or just his broader writings, it gets a little bit controversial in some circles, but largely speaking, they are derived from Gaelic, Norse, previous writings. So
Right.
If you read old, and I'm not an expert on those fields by any means, but if you read like the Icelandic sagas, Beowulf, other writings like that, you see references to Middle Earth. You even see the terms orc and dwarf and other terminology. So what some writers or biographers have argued is that he was trying to create a mythology for England, because after the Norman conquest of 1066 with the Battle of Hastings, that Anglo-Saxon culture was really lost and was dominated then by the Norman culture. And Tolkien lamented that. And one of his big attempts was to circle back and try to create that mythology that was lacking in the traditional Anglo-Saxon circles of England.
Do you think that there's a primary ethos that Tolkien is trying to convey through his writings? Is it just the continuation of the tradition that we could say he maybe came from? Is he trying to put forth primarily his Catholic faith? What do you think? What struck you initially when reading the books about Tolkien's message, Tolkien's philosophy?
As for his purposes, and he says specifically that the book is Christian in general, specifically, it's a Catholic work of fiction. He says something along the lines of, subconsciously at first and then consciously during the revisions. So it is arguably a form of his evangelization of his faith. As for, what I found most appealing, I was a lot younger when I first got into it. Just the virtues of the folks involved. The characters were so dynamic, both in cinema and even more so in the books. Just concepts like simple courage, steadfast friendship, self-sacrifice, just appealing stuff that certainly in the world nowadays we could use more of. And it's just really beautifully to see it demonstrated so, creatively.
Right. That's one of the things that most strikes me about Tolkien's writing is something that is very lacking today. It's this real understanding of ad majorem Dei gloriam. Yeah. It's this real understanding of masculinity, especially in regards to true and deep friendships. It would seem to me Tolkien's understanding and what he portrays it is very platonic, literally. Which I think we've lost a lot in the society today. People seem to insinuate that if two men have a close friendship, they have a love, a bond together, that they're gay now, right? So Tolkien obviously has the correct understanding of that, and I think that's something that is not talked about maybe enough in regards to his work. Is this something that you find to be striking about his writing that appears significantly through all of the works, really, right?
Yeah, I would agree. And if you boil Tolkien down to its base elements, he's promoting certain transcendental truths, essentially.
Sure.
Art, beauty, aesthetics. Peter Kreeft has a great book, The Philosophy of Tolkien, that kind of breaks that down and looks at each major branch of philosophy and digs into that. But yeah, and it's frustrating to see nowadays that there are certain elements of the Tolkien fan base that do try to twist the intent of the origin material into some sort of modern interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect example is the platonic nature of the friendships in Lord of the Rings. And I get really frustrated when you see folks online like, oh, well, Frodo and Sam had to have been intimate. There's no way that they weren't. And it's like, no, and it's quite possible that they were not. They were just good people.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of odd movements in and around the Tolkien world. Friendships always has to be gay today. Yeah, it seems that way. It seems that way. Or diversity has to be forced. There's nothing, Tolkien's world, this is another thing, and I'm not going to go on a rant here, but Tolkien's world was certainly diverse. I mean, there's a wide range but it was also of a place and time. It was, speculations are that it was a mythologized ancient England. These were the pre-eras before modern, what we understand of Britain, I should say. So obviously you're going to see certain things and you're not going to see certain things, but it's almost like we're not allowed to have that either these days. We have to force, as this Rings of Power show is attempting. A narrator, he went, that's you cannot narrate your own show. I did not go on a rant. Would you contribute something then? What do you like about Tolkien, Stephen? Unmute yourself.
Oh, I normally just sit back and listen and take care of the chat, but no, I thoroughly enjoy like the very clear distinction between good and evil that's there. That's a great point.
So
yeah,
is that something, DTW? Is that something that you think is an important aspect of? Because I noticed that also. It's something else that's very much lacking today in modern fiction of all types, is a willingness to really delineate between good and evil, right? Is that something that you think is important that should be brought back?
Yeah, and I think something you can glean when you dig in a little closer to Tolkien's morality is, and Tolkien was clearly a Thomist, right? He a lot of his philosophy, you read the Silmarillion, it's like straight out of Aquinas. But anyway, so the distinction between good and evil is critically important. Tolkien, though, demonstrates you could look at it from an ordered versus disordered standpoint as well. A violation of the natural law, if you will. Looking at the Silmarillion does a great job of breaking that down. You have, Melkor is your Lucifer figure who deviates from the natural order of things and tries to simply assume control and dominate. And Tolkien draws an important distinction there, which is when you do that, you can't actually create. All you can do is imitate. So that's why the orcs are simply corrupted elves. Trolls are corrupted ents. You can't, once you stray from the natural order of things, chaos ensues and you're limited.
Right. In fact, in the creation myth of Silmarillion, it's literal discord in the music of creation, right? That causes these perversions, for lack of a better term. And because, like you said, the evil can't create, it can only corrupt. What do you think about this idea of the ring as the representation of sin in the world, corrupting influence? First of all, what do you think about that idea in general? And second of all, what do you think about that as relates to someone who's widely speculated about, which is Tom Bombadil? The idea that he is a representation of unfallen man, and this is why the ring has no effect on him whatsoever. He looks at it and just doesn't care for it at all, has no effect on him. He's not bound to it. What do you think about these ideas? Do you think these are well founded, or is this stuff that's still kind of up in the air?
Well, nothing's going to be conclusive because Tolkien was very specific in saying, hey, I hate allegory. So don't interpret anything here allegorically. There is a lot of symbolism. So if you want to look at the ring, it could be symbolic, but not allegorical. So as far as the symbolism goes, I would agree. It could represent any number of things. To me, I look at it and it seems like pride or some sort of will to dominate. And something you see in Tolkien's world, particularly the Shire being the best example, that the decentralization of power is the best way to ensure that everyone is both treated equally, that it's a safe, non-totalitarian environment, and it also promotes avoidance of sin. So when you have systems like the federal government, for example, built unfortunately around trying to amass power and assume more power, well, then it gets dangerous. It's very hard to be a part of that system without falling into those moral traps. The more you break things down, again, the Shire being a good example, it promotes virtue.
There's a lot of we don't have a lot of time today to get into all of it, but we'll have to have you back. But there's a lot of very important themes. We can see Tolkien's opinions on much of society from his time in the books. I mean, there's the ideas of being against industrialization, and the ideas of subsidiarity and localization, and all these things. We're supposed to. Okay. You sure? You don't have any cow emergency?
No emergency. We can go another 15 after the hour.
I don't want you to get in trouble.
My wife is sitting right back here, and so.
Well, I know. That's why I said I don't want you to get in trouble.
She's giving me.
I don't want to cause
I think 15 minutes is acceptable. Yep, we're good. 15.
We're not going to have a catastrophe?
No.
You sure? Okay. But at the same time, what was I saying? But at the same time, you can read Lord of the Rings as just a fantasy work and not deal with any of that stuff. Well, since we talked about the movies, what do you think about the decision to? I know this isn't exactly your wheelhouse. You're about the wisdom from the books, but I have to ask you because it ties into that. What do you think about Jackson's decision to not include the scourging of the Shire in the films? Is it something that would have been difficult to film? Do you think he was just afraid to deal with the topics?
I've watched some interviews on it, and I think their justification, it was a while ago that I watched it, but I feel like he said two things. One was, you didn't know that it didn't happen. We just didn't show it, to give himself an out, basically. But then, which is a stretch. But then maybe more importantly, I guess in his defense, cinematically, it would be very difficult. But you can dig in, and this whole can of worms, so I won't go on too much of a rant. But the timeline, particularly from the Two Towers into the Return of the King with the films, really limited their ability to dig into some of the nice closing details in the Return of the King. The whole notion of Frodo getting brought to Osgiliath in the Two Towers and Faramir potentially bringing him back to Minas Tirith, it used up so much time that by the time Frodo and Sam actually reach Mordor, it felt really rushed. And even with the extended versions, they're better. But yeah, I guess if I was going to criticize that element, it would be just the pacing of the timeline.
He must have known pretty early that it wasn't going to do it, and I'm assuming that's the reason that he had Sauron die the way he did in the movie, as opposed to what happens in the book. But it is very interesting. I always wondered if it was like Hollywood pressures, like he didn't want to get to. Also, the story ends, but it does. It would have been another long end, yeah. But I would have been there for it. I mean,
yeah.
As much as he botched a lot, they're still great movies. They're some of my favorite movies. But I think they showed the sketch in the extended version. Did they? I don't remember that. Oh, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to understand what that's in reference to.
But I do. Tell me if you would echo this, since you're the expert. Do you think it's for people that feel like they're going to get into Tolkien? Is it important for them to read the books before watching those movies?
I would say yes. Oh, real quick for that comment. I'm sorry. The extended version of the Fellowship has the Mirror of Galadriel, where they do show the scourging of the Shire. It just doesn't actually happen. So I think that's what they're referencing. So good call for sure. So they at least give it some tribute. Sorry, what was your question? I got sidetracked.
I was saying, do you think that, I know you did it the opposite way, but would you say that you would recommend that people, if they think they're going to get into Tolkien, that they read the books before seeing the movies?
It really depends on the individual. I will say the Fellowship is probably the best out of the three and feels the most authentically Tolkien, though obviously, there are still holes in it. Yeah, I don't think there's a blanket answer. I mean, the purist in me wishes I had done it that way, but I didn't. So it is what it is. So yeah, now as long as you end up with authentic Tolkien at the end, I think it's fine.
Now, for people that have read the books and they're into Tolkien, they like Tolkien, and they want to follow this thread of the wisdom of the tradition that he comes from, what is some recommended reading you would advise them to take up after completing the Lord of the Rings, Silmarillion? They want to continue down that line of thought. They want to find more edifying work. They want classical wisdom.
Yeah, Aristotle, Foundation of Thomism, from a creation standpoint or from a metaphysical standpoint, is good. So if you want to understand that continuity, looking at Aristotle's metaphysics, going up through Augustine and Jerome, up to Aquinas, and up through, you mentioned the subsidiary principle earlier, even someone like Chesterton, if you're reading his views on economics, would help make sense. It makes sense of Tolkien. So there is that long line going back to classical philosophy. As far as maybe the individual works that inspired Tolkien in addition to the philosophy, certainly Beowulf, Saga of the Volsungs, for sure. Even the King Arthur legends to some degree. Now, a lot of those do actually have French origins to them, but they had been anglicized in Tolkien's day, so you could reference that. And having been recorded by Venerable Bede, it can tie back ultimately. But yeah, there's a whole treasure trove once you go down that rabbit hole. Yeah,
the Arthurian legends can get, unfortunately, and I think modernity has a lot to do with this, that's muddy water. But I love it. I think if you're willing to, Lord of the Rings needs to be. Can you stop commenting on yourself? Yeah, just talk.
I don't want to interrupt
you. What did you say? I didn't even see your comment. What did you say? Lord of the Rings needs to be read in Latin. Take that off. Yeah, the Arthurian legends, and see, now you distracted me. I don't even know what I was saying.
But just the Arthurian legends in general, some of the content, and some of it would tie back, some of it would not. That does turn into kind of a whirlwind.
There's a lot of that feel of it, the same kind of feel, especially in regards to like the platonic male friendships and things of that nature, and that's a through line in the Arthurian works too. You just got to be. I would say you just got to be careful who you're reading, because there's a lot of these updates, and they don't usually call them modernizations. They'll call them like for the modern reader or whatever, or like an easier way to like out of the old English. It's like, just, I know what you're doing, like So okay, what else do you think is important for people to know or to look for in Tolkien's work as far as wisdom? What's something that they should be aware of when they're reading it? What are some of the kind of important? Pipe smoking in Tolkien's world symbolizes reflection, camaraderie, and the wisdom of simple pleasures. Discuss. Okay, how about that? Since we have also a pipe theme tonight, is that something that is a salient point, do you think? Is that
100%. Sam has a good line when my favorite part of the trilogy is when the hobbits meet Strider in Bree. And unfortunately in the movies it doesn't get a whole lot of attention, but it's a really good part. But Sam has a line in there when they're starting to leave and go off into the wilderness, something along the lines of a pipe for sitting and an apple for walking. And it's those simple little things that frankly tie back to nature, right? So, tobacco's, naturally grown. The hobbits are very proud of their ability to cultivate and to work with nature to create it. Same thing with apples, or frankly any of the cuisine that is mentioned throughout the trilogy. So yeah, I mean the whole point of the Shire is to enjoy nature, the bounty of creation, take pleasure in the little things. And at the end of the day, it's the folks from the Shire that save everybody. As mighty and tall and proud and tough and great as everybody else is, Aragorn, Boromir, Faramir, whoever, the elves, it's the four little hobbits that end up, saving the day.
Yeah. I want to ask one more thing, and then maybe see if Steven has any questions for you. But something else I noticed in especially in the trilogy, Lord of the Rings, which is even that bothers me. It was never a trilogy. In fact, Tolkien didn't. You probably know this. Tolkien didn't like the way they broke it down. He especially hated the title "The Return of the King" because he thought it gave the whole damn thing away. This is a publisher's ideas to try to push the books. It was divided into 9 volumes, right, originally, but one book, 9 segments, I should say. You can't even get that anymore. You can't even get it in that format anymore. I wish you could. But something I noticed throughout the I'll call it the trilogy because most people now, that's how they're familiar. But may we all cling to our inner Shire and save the land in which yes, amen. I agree. But the idea of this is a twofold idea of oral tradition, of handing down our history and our stories orally, and frequently in Tolkien's work through song. What do you think is the importance of that? Because it seems to be pretty important in the books that all the races have their own oral song tradition, which they're really handing down their history, the stories of their people. Is that something you think was important?
Yeah,
to
and you guys were talking about the Odyssey earlier, and that was preserved through oral tradition before being written down, at least according to some historians. So there's a strong tradition going back to really the bedrock of Western civilization, this idea of the long metered narrative and memorizing it and passing it on. And yes, so Tolkien definitely wanted to emulate that tradition. You see it with his poetry, with those narratives, and some of the cultures in particular, the Rohirrim. He says they have no written language. Everything is passed on orally, which is really unfortunate because in the films they do have some written documents for the Rohirrim. Yeah. They don't actually exist in the books. They're a purely verbal kind of what would you say, Scandinavian-ish culture in that regard.
Right.
But yeah,
there's
100%.
There's a lot that's jumbled in the movies. I mean, the idea that somehow the dwarves become Scottish when they were really Nordic, that they're kind of a funny race, and that the elves are the ones that are very self-serious and stoic. When all throughout the books, the elves are very humorous. They have the full range of emotions, but they're like very ethereal in the movies. Stuff like that, which it's not going to bother you if you don't know, and even if you do know, it's still not like the worst thing in the world. I would say one of the worst things in the world is the portrayal of Faramir. I think they really did his character like an incredible disservice, and I can't stand the way they did Galadriel either. Honestly, I don't like the spooky version that she turns into and all that stuff. I mean, it's
you could go down a rabbit hole with that too. Theoden bothers me more than anything else. I think I've done a couple threads on it that
really.
Man, it drives me nuts. When you read The Two Towers and The Return of the King, he was ashamed by the fact that his will had been overthrown by Saruman, and was basically repentant after Gandalf saved him. And that repentance was, hey, I'm on borrowed time now. I need to make up for what I did, which is setting the next generation up well. And he just, I don't want to say recklessly, but just full bore went to war after that. Rode to the fords of Isen and obviously Helm's Deep, and it was immediately muster up as many people as possible. And he's, front of the charge at Minas Tirith at the Battle of the Pelennor Fields, and and then ultimately falls victorious. And I mean, it drives me crazy how they turned him into this kind of crabby old man that was like borderline not even going to help out Gondor, and kind of did a disservice to. But yes, Faramir, it is meant to teach us a lesson of avoiding concupiscence or being aware of our concupiscence and avoiding the near occasions of sin. And just completely dropped the ball on that.
Yeah, which is terrible, because if there's anything else that's an incredibly important and reoccurring theme in Tolkien's works, it's the idea of redemption and mercy, and they definitely dropped the ball in several areas in the films in regards to that. I mean, they do make a point of it when it comes to Gollum and Bilbo, or at least mentioning it. But
and Boromir, I mean, they did right by Boromir.
Boromir, sure, yeah. Stephen, do you have any, before we move on to our musical? Well, he's not a guest, Tony, playing a song for us. Do you have any questions for Daily Tolkien Wisdom, and then we'll move on to Tony's song and we'll do the giveaway?
I'm good, really. I mean, you guys had great conversation pieces.
Well, you're a big help, Steve. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I was. Yeah, I mean, I have nothing of note.
Well, I didn't want to interrupt your snacking, but I thought maybe I'd give you the opportunity to,
First off, these are delicious pistachio nuts, and pistachios.
Don't say the brand.
Are in Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Big deal.
What are you talking about? What
Yeah.
are you talking about?
I'm just talking.
There are no pistachios in Lord of the Rings. Are there?
Are there pistachios in Lord of the Rings, Daily Tolkien Wisdom?
I don't know. You put me on the spot. I don't know. Maybe they're called something else.
No, they are.
Yeah, Stephen. Maybe they're called something else.
They're called.
You didn't think of that, did you, Stephen? It's a fantasy book.
Anyway,
chimney nuts or something.
No, they're Oli nuts, like olifants.
Well, DTW, we're gonna have you back, because the wisdom of Tolkien is depths that can be plumbed for hours and hours. We gave you about 15 minutes, and you did an excellent job in distilling a lot of it down. I really appreciate it. And I could talk about this all day. Because
same here.
My favorite author. I mean, really, there are other authors I really like, but I always come back to Tolkien when somebody asks me my favorite. Yeah.
Same here. I'm gonna just in parting, if I may.
Yeah, of course.
Throw out that reading his personal letters that have been published in a very lengthy volume are fantastic, because they're arranged chronologically, so you can read them and look at what he was going through while he was writing pretty much all of the books.
Right.
So, and how that ties back to his family, his children, his profession. So if you want to really contextualize them as well, I would point you in that direction too.
Now, would you recommend the new volume of the letters? I think includes some that had been lost, that were missing before.
I would. I haven't gotten through all of those yet, to be honest with you, but I definitely would. And certainly most of the stuff that's been published over the last couple of decades, thanks to his son Christopher, is just it's just tremendous. So,
yeah,
for sure.
And what about the new volume of his poetry that was also released pretty recently? And I think that was after Christopher's death, wasn't it? But
it was. He had worked on it, and I can't remember the other folks involved, but I think I want to say it was a bit of a collaboration. But yeah, Tolkien's poetry, and frankly his watercolors, his drawing, a lot of that is overshadowed by the books themselves. But yeah, no, certainly any of his other artistic endeavors are worth checking out.
Great. Okay. We'll put a link to your X account in the description. Is there anywhere else that you would like people to find you, or is that primarily where you do your work?
That's primarily it. I've dabbled with Instagram a little bit, but X is kind of my home.
Okay. Well, again, thank you so much, and we'll definitely have you back. And now we're going to bring on, there's the man himself, Tony Manfredonia.
Every now and then I think about, the song they ripped from Snow White, the Someday My Prince Will Come. They removed that. There was a time whenever, because someday
don't do it.
Prince
don't do
come. You know that tune? Well, so I always thought, whenever the Lord of the Rings movies were coming, I always wondered, what would the movies be like if they were a musical? And for whatever reason, that was always the song that, what if, someday my king will come. I was totally ridiculous. But I'm from a very musical household, so I'm always just seeing, that song would be good in that movie. And anyway, there's my Lord of the Rings shtick for the night.
That's good stuff, Tony. That's funny.
I don't know why they took that out of Snow White. That's the song.
Well, yes, you do. You know why.
Yeah, we know why. But
come on, we know why.
Anyway.
Okay. They don't need no man.
All right, now this is.
You know what? Before you play your song, this reminds me of something that I never understood.
Yeah.
So Beyonce and what's her group, Steven, that you like?
Destiny's Child.
Yeah, Destiny's Child.
Destiny's Child.
He loves Destiny's Child. But so maybe somebody could answer this. So in one song, they're like, "Oh, I'm independent woman," blah blah blah, and the next song they're talking about, "I want you to pay my bills." Well,
Pay my
which is
bills, pay my telephone
I don't know.
bill.
I mean, I don't know.
Right.
I've never really listened to Destiny's Child,
doesn't
admittedly.
make any sense. Well, Steven tell you all.
I
about
don't
it.
think you do, but you and me are through.
See, that's probably a lyric.
It's probably a
from
lyric.
Destiny's
Yeah,
Child.
I was gonna say it's probably
It's
a lyric.
it's from Bills. Yeah, it's from Bills.
No. All right. Well,
Okay.
Tony, you have, what is the name of the? I'm sorry, I forgot to ask before.
That's okay. That's totally fine. The name of the song is called Confession because I was thinking Lord of the Rings theme. This is
agree.
kind of the turning point in my. I got an album called Anchored, which is actually very much an album about good and evil. And so this is the song. This is kind of like the turning point where the story of redemption starts to go into the redemptive victory territory. Like it's literally right in the middle of the album. So this is kind of when things turn around.
Excellent. All right. Well,
So-
take it away, Tony. I can't wait to hear
And
it
it's an Irish jig, right?
Negative, but
in the remix.
the remix. This is the pop piano remix.
All right.
And we'll
Okay.
determine who wins the pipe after this song.
All right, we're good here. Lord, I don't know which way I am going. Lord, it feels like I'm lost out on the ocean. Lord, I know that everything I did was wrong. And now it feels like one more minute and she's gone. When the snow falls and her gaze starts to glisten in the moon, when her mind's eye becomes my starlight, illuminating truth. Is this what's left? A mixed heartbeat I can't forget what she gave me, yet here I stand, frozen to the bone. When the snow falls and her gaze starts to glisten in the moon, when her mind's eye becomes my starlight, illuminating truth. Is this what's left? A missed heartbeat I can't forget what she gave me, yet here I stand, frozen to the bone. And I'm frozen, and I'm frozen, and I'm frozen. Lord, break me through. Thank you.
Hey.
Hey, thank you.
Wonderful.
That's good.
Very good, Tony.
I remember that song. When you started playing it, I was like, I know this song.
You know that one, yeah.
I do. Like, it's not a new. You know what? I don't like this layout. I'm gonna switch it.
Steven, your
Yeah.
face is very big.
It wasn't that it was just very
Right
big.
up
It's
in
like,
It was fine. It was fine.
all right. So
That was beautiful, Tony. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
as
Oh, you're
always.
welcome. Thank
very
you.
beautiful.
Wonderful
I'm
as
gonna-
always.
I'm going to showcase the second pipe we're going to be
Yes,
giving.
let's do that right now. This is the Ranger. This is the second pipe up for giveaway here. Beautiful pipe. So the beautiful rugged addition to the series. The Ranger is as functional as it is stylish. And this is, look at this. I mean, that is beautiful craftsmanship.
That's
absolutely
awesome.
Wonderful. So one of our viewers today will be winning this. We will determine this after the show is off the air, and we will contact.
I sent you a message. And I'm just read it, or you can choose to ignore it or to read it. But I did send you a message for an idea that I had.
Where did you send this message?
I texted you. I texted it to you.
This is such a professional show. I remember Letterman getting texts on air all the time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what happened. So we
can pick a winner on the show as long as Stephen.
Mm-hmm.
As long as these are not friends of yours, because I don't want any accusations of rigging.
They're not. I looked through, and people who are very engaged and talkative, and
well, that's what we want, and we appreciate everyone that commented on the show today and everyone that viewed. We're trying to grow the show, obviously. We're that's why we're doing these things. We appreciate all of you that are here and that have been here from the beginning. But yeah, we can do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that, and so let's do it in that order then. So for the first pipe, can you bring the first pipe back up, Stephen, please?
Yes, I believe I can.
So this is the wizard. You're a wizard. No, that's the wrong one.
Nope, wrong one.
Yeah, that's the distinction between that is something else we could get into maybe next time we have Daily Tolkien Wisdom on, between the wicked wizardness of Potter and the angelic origins of the quote-unquote wizards in Tolkien's works. But not now, not for now. That's for another day, maybe.
Okay.
But so this is the wizard. So, Stephen, do you want to announce the winner of the wizard, and I'll announce the winner of Ranger?
Yeah. Well, I'll do it, and I'll do the I'm going to highlight a comment that the person made.
Oh, great, excellent.
So I think this person is. They said that they were leaving, but they said that earlier, but they were commenting a lot more often than that. No,
Okay.
Just the first one. So,
Taldeus. Oh, I got you.
Yeah, Taldeus, okay. If you are still here, send a message, or if you're watching this later, you can reach me, Catholic Comedy, on the Twitters, and just send me a direct message. And
all our Twitter links are in the description. So either one of us, as long as you get in touch with one of us, not Tony, he's busy enough, but Stephen or I.
Right.
I'll miss
so congratulations.
Truly, do not message me.
Don't bother
really,
Tony. How many times did I tell you people? Leave Tony alone.
All right, and then you want to announce the second winner? I've got
and for the winner of the Ranger, he's a Ranger.
The requirement should be that they're
Longshanks.
They're actually like they dress up as the Ranger himself, the King himself.
Right. I thought we announced that. Yeah, they have to.
No,
that's part of it, right?
Yeah,
that's part of it.
That's part of it.
So the winner of the Ranger. Do you have a comment to highlight? There we go. Dominic Catterson. With this very clever riff on the potatoes, and that's in the book, by the way. People assume, there are these little like funny throwaway lines in the film that people assume were created for the movie to be cinematic or whatever. That's in the book. That potatoes line is in the book.
Pistachois.
Boil 'em, mash 'em.
Pistachois.
Pistachois.
Am I reading that right? It's very far away from my screen. Pistachois.
I think so.
Okay.
Okay.
Congratulations, Dominic.
I'm not a fan. So congratulations, Dominic Catterson. You have won the Ranger.
So if you are, sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, Dominic, if you're available for it, you do have to be 21 or older in order to get the pipe, I believe. But please send.
We should have said that in the first place.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, kids here. Well, they could. Yeah, what if they just put bubbles in it?
I don't know. That's up to the pipe company, but I think there's going to be I don't know if we check ID, but that one is really nice. So Dominic, please contact us through some way, either through Twitter or through YouTube or something. I don't know. There's a way.
Extreme thanks to Caleb at Catholic Pipe Company, who creates these beautiful pipes, for allowing us to do this giveaway today. We're very, very grateful for that. There he is. He'll handle it. All right.
Handle it.
So
sounds ominous.
Are you saying?
I don't know what he means. I'm afraid to question him.
Are you going to handle the contacting of the people, or are you just handling the whether or not they are of age? Wait for another comment.
He's going to handle it. Anyway, that's the end of our show for the night. Nobody needs to hear all this inside baseball. So maybe Tony could play us out. We'll say goodnight, everybody. And
sure,
we'll end it there. He'll handle it. Good night, everybody.
Good night.